Meet Lina, a young and deadly warrior serving under King Jin, moving like a shadow as she takes down a group of attackers seeking revenge, leaving them no chance to react. Moments later, she witnesses Officer Han Yu execute her father, Lei Hong, the leader of their faction. Consumed by rage, she silently vows revenge. As time passes, her name fades into obscurity. Years later, she returns under a new identity as Arya Ning, her fury buried deep within, waiting for the perfect moment. Now living under the control of her strict mother-in-law, she is constantly humiliated for being unable to have children. Her husband, Tian, openly shows affection to another woman, Fei Yao, while Arya endures everything until she finally reaches her breaking point and runs away. But a sudden car accident changes everything. The impact awakens her true self, the unstoppable Lina. Doctors call it amnesia, and her current family disappears from her memory. Despite this, she agrees to return home, this time fully in control. She demands heightened security and prepares to confront the people claiming to be her family, already sensing betrayal she refuses to forgive. The story then flashes back to the day Leon was killed. Jace Xiao searches his body and steals a password-protected flash drive, believing its key may be linked to Lina. With calculated intent, he approaches Arya Ning. Arriving at the mansion as the nephew of Songbai, a powerful figure in both the family and business, Jace carefully observes Arya, studying her every move to test her supposed amnesia. However, when she shows him a photo of the man she believes is her father, he realizes it's not the man he killed. Doubt begins to grow, and he decides to watch her more closely. Meanwhile, Fei Yao secretly plots against Arya. She poisons a drink, intending to trap her in a scandal with the butler. However, she accidentally drinks it herself and wakes up humiliated beside him. Lina later exposes the entire scheme with cold precision, leading to Fei being thrown out of the mansion. But this is only the beginning. Enraged, the mother-in-law hires thugs to attack Lina. She defeats them effortlessly with sharp, controlled movements, proving her deadly skills. A young boy named Yuan Ming witnesses everything silently. The next day, Jace attempts to confirm her identity by exposing the Qin Yin tattoo on her back, only to find an old scar where the mark should be. The truth slips further away. He sets another trap by broadcasting news that Lei Hong is hospitalized, hoping Lina will rush to him. Instead, she only goes for a routine check, ignoring the bait. During this time, a disguised attacker tries to kill Lei Hong but escapes before Jace can capture him. Back at the mansion, tensions rise as the sister-in-law arrives with a single goal: to eliminate Arya. The house becomes a battlefield of hidden intentions. Her son tries to burn Arya's dress under orders, but accidentally sets his own mother's dress on fire. Later, when Arya feels unwell, she is taken to Jace's room, where he attempts to take advantage of her. She immediately stops him with a cold, commanding gaze, turning the situation in her favor. She shifts the conversation to business and reveals a recording of Jace and Song by discussing how they stole the company from Arya's real parents. The next day, the sister-in-law spreads rumors, presenting photos suggesting Lina and Arya had accidents on the same day. To prove her suspicion, she offers Arya a strawberry cupcake, knowing Arya is allergic. Lina pretends to react, scratches her arm, and runs to her room. However, Jace realizes the reaction was fake. Soon after, the sister-in-law discovers her mistake. The cupcake was actually made with cherries. Meanwhile, someone watching through a hidden camera, possibly the real Arya, smiles darkly, planning her next move. Lina later visits the Qin Yun base under the guise of family business. Several members recognize her, but she calmly insists she is Arya Ning, verifying her identity using the group system. When she attempts a fingerprint scan, it fails. At the same time, Yuan Ming, now working for the family, aims a rifle at her from a distance. Elsewhere, the real Arya reveals she erased all records linking Lina to the organization, which is why the scan does not match. The pressure around Lina intensifies, every step becoming more dangerous. Members of Qin Yun corner her, ready to force her into submission, but Jace arrives with his team and stops them. He carries her away, but she immediately sets boundaries by pointing a gun at him. At that moment, Yuan Ming receives orders to shoot. Jace shields her with his body and fires back, forcing Yuan Ming to retreat. After escaping, Lina challenges the new leader to a high-stakes dice game for control. She rolls first and gets a low number. During the match, Jace subtly interferes, causing a tie. After another tie, Lena changes the game entirely. She places a revolver between them. Russian roulette. She pulls the trigger first. Click, empty. When it's the leader's turn, fear takes over. He surrenders, giving up everything. On the way back, Jace finally confirms what he suspected all along. Her weapon precision can only belong to Lena. The identity of Arya Ning no longer convinces him. Lena overhears her sister-in-law planning a DNA test and grows uneasy, knowing any result could expose her. Later, she learns that Yuan Ming does not trust Jace, proving alliances are fragile. A small noise gives away her position, and Yuan Ming chases her through dark hallways. Suddenly, the sister-in-law's son appears, and Yuan points a gun at him, causing the child to faint in fear. Lena and Jace carry him back, and with a swift, calculated move, Lena uses a pen to puncture his chest slightly, creating an airway and saving his life. This shocking act exposes her true capabilities. The family grows tense, and suspicion around her deepens as they rush to pull her out of her room. She quickly splashes alcohol over herself and takes a sip before opening the door, using the strong smell as an excuse. The family demands she undergo her mandatory annual blood test, but the doctor immediately refuses after noticing the alcohol, explaining it would distort the results. A clever move on her part. Still suspicious, the impatient sister-in-law forces her to prepare medicine for her son while watching closely. Once it's ready, she secretly uses her nail to cut Lena's finger, stealing a drop of blood to begin her own hidden plan. Lena instantly realizes the trick and rushes after the doctor with a fake sample, intending to switch it. In the hallway, Jace Xiao intercepts her, pulls her into his car, and stops her. Just as the doctor turns back, Jace suddenly kisses her to create a distraction, and in that moment a memory flashes. It reveals that in the past, the two of them were once lovers. The next day, the family gathers for dinner to reveal the DNA results. The report confirms her identity as Arya Ning, instantly shifting the balance of power. The revelation sparks tension, but Lena steps forward and exposes her sister-in-law. She reveals that the woman has been secretly stealing family jewelry and replacing them with fakes. On top of that, she uncovers that her husband is a gambler buried in debt, and the stolen money was used to cover his losses. The family wastes no time. She is expelled and ordered to return everything within a week, leaving behind a power vacuum everyone is eager to fill. After the scandal, Tian attempts to seduce Lena in hopes of calming her down, but she responds by striking him. As she walks across the yard, she notices Jace sitting calmly, while Tian kneels before him in humiliation. Later, in private, Jace admits that he was the one who switched the DNA samples. Lena immediately presses a knife against his chest, demanding an explanation. He stays silent, but the truth unfolds through memory. He had discovered that Lena and the real Arya Ning are twins. This meant the DNA test would always confirm her identity. He kept this secret because he feared the Song family would use the truth to eliminate her and seize her inheritance. So instead, he chose to protect her from the shadows. Soon after, Fei Yao returns with shocking news. She is pregnant with Tian's child. The family celebrates, mocking Lena. Fei arrogantly orders Lena to wash her feet, then suddenly throws a bucket of hot water at her. Jace steps in instantly, taking the hit himself and severely burning his back. Afterward, Lena carefully treats his wounds, and their bond deepens. In the following days, Lena places Fei under a strict pregnancy routine, controlling her diet and movements. The pressure begins to frustrate and exhaust Fei, pushing her toward her emotional limit. Overcome with anger, Fei violently pushes the mother-in-law down the stairs and immediately blames Lena. The family prepares to punish Lena, but Jace arrives once again with a recording clearly showing Fei committing the act. Even with the evidence, no one dares punish her, not even the now-conscious mother-in-law. Later, in her room, Lena finds a dumbbell identical to one owned by Song placed on her bed. Fei was the only person who had entered the room. Suspicion turns into certainty. Lena shares her discovery with Jace, pointing out that Fei became pregnant while Song was conveniently absent. Together, they begin to suspect a hidden relationship between the two. To confirm it, Lena secretly installs a camera in the room. As tension and closeness grow between Lena and Jace, she begins avoiding him. But one day, he corners her and quietly asks if she would still treat him the same way, even if he wasn't who she believed him to be. Believing she has regained her memories, he lets her walk away. Distance grows between them, but their plan continues. At the hospital, Faye is told her pregnancy is at risk. Without hesitation, she hands the doctor a check and proceeds with her own scheme. Back at the mansion, she insults Lena, then suddenly throws herself to the ground, bleeding, and screams that Lena is responsible. At the hospital, the family quickly turns against Lena, but Jace arrives holding the same check Faye had given the doctor. Under pressure, the doctor confesses the truth. The baby already had complications due to pills Faye had taken herself to terminate it. Her entire scheme collapses. Seizing the moment, Lena reveals an even bigger truth. The child was never Tion's. It belonged to Song-Bai. She then presents footage from the hidden camera, showing Song-Bai and Faye planning to fake the child's paternity to secure their position. The betrayal is fully exposed, and Faye is thrown out of the house once again. Afterward, Lena corners Song-Bai with an ultimatum. She will delete the video if he appoints her to the board and names her as president. With no way out, he agrees. But Song-Bai doesn't accept defeat quietly. He secretly hires Yuan Ming to eliminate her before the board meeting. The next day, Yuan Ming's men surround Lena, but Jace storms in, takes them down, and safely escorts her to the meeting. At the boardroom, Lena displays calm intelligence and authority, winning support from the members. With Jace's strategic backing, she is officially appointed as the new president of the company. Returning home, Jace renews his loyalty, promising to risk everything for her, knowing the internal war has only just begun. Later, in his office, Jace reviews suspicious financial transactions made by Yuan Ming, searching for any connection to Song-Bai. Unaware to most, he is being watched. Yuan Ming and Song-Bai have planted a hidden camera to spy on him. Jace scans the data and calmly states he finds no connection, claiming he'll continue investigating. But in reality, he already noticed the camera and is pretending, carefully setting up his next move. Meanwhile, Lena meets her new colleagues, including 2 foreign employees sent to welcome her. Instead, they blindfold her, drag her into the main office, and humiliate her by pouring cold water over her, completely unaware that she is the new president. Only one woman tries to defend her but is struck and humiliated. In response, Lena strikes back with precise, controlled moves, taking them down effortlessly. Moments later, Jace Xiao enters, and together they reveal that Lena is the true boss. Without hesitation, Lena fires everyone involved, making it clear that respect is non-negotiable. She then promotes the woman who defended her, appointing her as her personal secretary as a reward for her loyalty. Soon after, she summons Mr. Fong, Fei Yao's father and the man behind the humiliating welcome. He admits his involvement, but insists he never meant to harm her. Lena chooses not to fire him, for now, but warns that she will personally audit every account under his control. Reluctantly, he agrees. On her first official day, Lena uncovers internal fraud, firing 2 employees for receiving fake payments. It's clear the cleanup has only just begun. Meanwhile, Mr. Fong quietly reviews company files, cross-checking receipts. He notices something strange, 2 different signatures under the same name. One signed by Lena posing as Arya Ning, and another by the real Arya. The handwriting is clearly different. At that moment, he realizes the truth. There are 2 separate individuals. His suspicion turns into anger, and he silently vows revenge. Later, he takes Lena to a secure company vault and explains that it can only be opened using an eye scan from Arya Ning or her late father. Lena steps forward and completes the scan. The system accepts her. Because she is Arya's twin, the biometric match works, leaving Mr. Fong with one less advantage. Elsewhere, Jace and his assistant discover a warehouse owned by the family, filled with illegal goods. However, Song-Bai watches them through a hidden camera and quickly sends Yuan Ming to destroy all evidence before they arrive. At the warehouse, Yuan Ming fails to escape. Jace and his team catch him among crates and shipping records. Thinking quickly, Yuan claims he was sent to gather evidence against the Song family, carefully choosing his words. Jace doesn't believe him. He seizes the goods and announces a full investigation, leaving Yuan Ming with no way out. Minutes later, Lena arrives and admits she has already figured out Jace's plan to bring down Song-Bai. She proposes they work together. Jace agrees, but warns her that the family is far more dangerous than she thinks. A fragile alliance is formed. Back at the company, Lena places an old debt file on Song-Bai's desk. He responds coldly, saying the company's shares are falling and, as the new president, it is her responsibility to fix it. Lena continues moving carefully and strategically. She reaches out to her contacts and arranges a meeting with an investor named Vincent at a hotel. But when she arrives, the man makes a disgusting demand. He says he will only invest if she spends the night with him. Lena remains calm. She pulls out her gun, shoots past his ear, and coldly warns him that if he doesn't agree to invest immediately, she will kill him. Her message is clear. She will do whatever it takes. Moments later, the real Vincent appears. It turns out Vincent is actually Jace, using the alias from his past investment dealings before joining law enforcement. He agrees to invest in her company, claiming he's helping her, but adds a quiet warning. If she fails to repay him, he might demand something far more personal in return. Soon after, Lena announces to the board that she has secured Vincent's support. Songbai is furious. He had spent years trying to locate Vincent without success. This deal shatters a major part of his control. But on that same day, a major scandal erupts. The company is suddenly linked to drug trafficking, causing stock prices to crash again. Lena and Jace trace the leak back to Mr. Fong and his daughter. They track them to a hidden location and break into a computer room, but Faye traps them inside and attempts to burn everything down. As smoke fills the room, they rush to copy critical data. Jace begins to weaken from the smoke. Without hesitation, Lena kisses him to force him awake and keep him conscious. Regaining strength, Jace breaks through the blockage, and they escape just in time. Later, they intercept Mr. Fong as he tries to flee. In front of shareholders, they expose his crimes, igniting public outrage. Cornered, Mr. Fong pulls out a gun and points it at Lena. She remains completely calm. From behind, Jace strikes him with a golf club, disarming him instantly. Mr. Fong is fired on the spot, losing all power and influence. With the Song family nearing collapse, the mother-in-law sends Tian once again to seduce Lena and steal her shares, but he fails. At the same time, Faye and her allies launch another attack. They release fake intimate photos and videos of Lena, created using AI, in an attempt to destroy her reputation. The media surrounds her, cameras flashing, accusations flying from every direction. But Lena stands firm, completely composed. She calmly explains that the images are fabricated and points out a small detail, a mole on the woman in the images that she does not have. To finish her defense, Lena plays the real footage. The woman in the video is revealed to be Faye Yao. Humiliated beyond control, Faye lashes out and throws a bowl of hot milk at Lena, but Jace Xiao steps in and takes the hit. Later, Lena carefully treats his burn. As she does, he pulls her into his lap, their closeness deepening. Nearby, Tian watches in silent shock, consumed by jealousy. Blinded by anger, he later locks Lena inside a bathroom. He accuses her of betraying him with Jace and arrogantly claims she once begged to be with him. Lena responds without hesitation. She shoves him into the bathtub, shows him a video of his past abuse, and reveals the truth, that he was the one who begged her to marry him. She promises revenge for everything his family has done and nearly drowns him, leaving him barely conscious. There is no turning back now. The next day, the leader of the Qing Yun group approaches her, finally revealing the truth she has been chasing. He exposes her real identity, Lena. He tells her that Officer Han Yu was the one who killed her father, Lei Hong. To prove it, he points out her unmistakable fighting style and shows her footage of Jace with her father shortly before his death. Shaken, Lena confronts Jace in his office, pointing a gun at him. Aware of hidden cameras, Jace avoids saying anything that could expose him. Later, he meets with Song Bai and Yuan Ming, pretending that he has been manipulating Lena all along for the family's benefit. Yuan Ming demands Lena's arrest, and Jace agrees, tightening the trap. At the station, Lena is restrained. Jace plays his role as the villain, ordering her to sign a confession. She refuses without hesitation. He pretends to strike her, covering her eyes, but stops himself at the last second. Later, two men enter her cell with bad intentions. Lena provokes them into fighting each other, then takes them both down with precise strikes. During interrogation, she learns they were sent by Yuan Ming, which only deepens her confusion. Suddenly, the Qing Yun group storms in and rescues her, forcing everyone else to retreat. At the same time, Jace confronts Yuan Ming face to face. Yuan points a gun at him, ready to kill, but Jace reveals a recording linking both Yuan Ming and Song Bai to illegal dealings. The balance of power shifts instantly. Soon after, Lena and Jace storm into a board meeting and formally accuse Song Bai, revealing that they have been working together all along to expose him. Song Bai is arrested. Afterward, Jace tells Lena he did not kill her father. She pretends to believe him, but deep inside, her memory has fully returned, and she knows he was involved. Her mission becomes clear, silent, complete revenge. Later, in the mansion garden, Lena discovers photos of herself hanging from a tree, each one secretly taken. On the back of one photo, she finds a message from Jace. He had installed cameras to protect her, unaware they captured personal moments. He invites her to the center of the garden, where he waits with a necklace. As she approaches, an ambush strikes. Lena is violently kidnapped. Sensing danger, Jace rushes out, racing against time. He eventually finds her tied up in front of Yuan Ming. Yuan forces a cruel test. Jace must kneel and beg for her life. Without hesitation, he kneels. But it doesn't end there. Yuan demands more. He orders Jace to crawl across broken glass. As the shards cut into him and Lena watches in tears, with Tian and Song Bai looking on coldly, Jace drags himself forward, bleeding but determined. Just then, the police storm in, scattering the attackers. In the chaos, Jace frees Lena, but she immediately turns a gun on him, confronting him once again about her father's death. He swears he is innocent, but torn between love and betrayal, Lena pulls the trigger. The future between them shatters in that moment. Later, under the rain, Lena breaks down, remembering everything she shared with Jace. Heartbroken, she returns to the Qingyun base and hands back the flash drive he once took. Inside is evidence that her father had been investigating crimes tied to the Song family, strongly suggesting their role in his death. Driven by anger, she returns to the mansion. She gathers the family and begins questioning them about her mother-in-law's sister. She reveals that Song Bai had an affair with her and that the woman died under mysterious circumstances. The family denies everything, but Lena calmly plays a recording, her mother-in-law and Yuan Ming discussing the murder. Song Bai is stunned. He never imagined his own wife was responsible for killing the only woman he ever truly loved. Though too much time has passed for legal action, the betrayal cuts deeply. He throws his wife out of the mansion. Later that night, as Lena rests in her room, she is suddenly attacked with a taser. Everything goes dark. When she wakes, she finds herself handcuffed beside Tian. Furious over what happened to his mother, he demands answers, hurling insults at her. But Lena remains calm. She switches tactics, softening her voice, pretending affection. She tells him everything she did was part of a plan so they could finally be together. As she speaks, while speaking softly, Lena secretly pulls out a needle and carefully frees her wrist without Tian noticing. The moment she's loose, she strikes, shocking him with the taser. She quickly ties him to the bed and straps a time device around his neck. Her demand is simple: sign the divorce papers. At first, Tian refuses. But as the ticking sound grows louder, fear takes over, and he signs. Afterward, he confesses his feelings again, admitting he knows she is not truly Arya Ning. He explains that his cruelty came from his upbringing and that he resisted the divorce because he didn't want to lose her. Lena looks at him coldly. She tells him he will never understand love because he never learned to respect a woman. Then she reactivates the device, only to reveal it was fake all along, leaving him trembling. Lena leaves and returns to the Qingyun base, only to find the leader missing. Instead, she discovers a message instructing her to come and reclaim him. Without hesitation, she goes. Meanwhile, Jace wakes up in the hospital and finds the real Arya Ning sitting beside him, reopening old ties and unfinished truths. At the same time, Lena breaks into Yuan Ming and Song Bai's stronghold to rescue the captured leader. She fights through multiple guards with sharp, precise movements until she reaches Song Bai. Now that her identity is fully exposed, he openly admits the truth. He killed her father, Lei Hong, and planned to take her shares after declaring her dead. As Lena is surrounded, Jace arrives with his team. They arrest Yuan Ming, forcing the rest to retreat. Lena and Jace finally reunite, their bond restored as their plan falls back into place. Jace then reveals the reason behind his hatred for Song Bai. Song Bai was responsible for his parents' deaths and had framed Lei Hong. In reality, Jace and Lei Hong had secretly been working together, but Yuan Ming betrayed them and killed Lei Hong. The real Arya had uncovered this truth and shared it with Jace. She, too, wants to bring down her father-in-law. Determined to end everything, Lena gathers evidence from multiple sources, building a solid case against Song Bai. During this time, Jace admits that he and Lena had known each other long before everything began. They seal their trust with a kiss, strengthening their alliance. However, danger rises again. With help from hidden connections, Yuan Ming escapes custody and returns to Song Bai. Song Bai forces him to sign a document taking full responsibility for all crimes, preparing to eliminate him afterward. But Lena and Jace arrive just in time, rescue him, and take him back to their base. There, they give him two choices: testify against Song Bai or face death. Yuan Ming demands a huge payment in exchange for cooperation. Instead, they bring him face-to-face with armed officers in the garden, forcing him into submission. Finally, he agrees. Jace delivers him to the prosecutor, but in a shocking twist, the prosecutor kills him on the spot, revealing that Song Bai is holding his family hostage. Meanwhile, Song Bai captures Lena and burns all the evidence she worked so hard to collect, reducing it to ashes. At the same time, the real Arya attacks Tian as he attempts to escape, stabbing him and cutting off his last chance. She tries to finish him, but collapses from exhaustion. Elsewhere, Jace is arrested, and Lena is taken back to the mansion. Soon after, Tian reappears, alive but severely injured. Consumed by rage, Song Bai begins shouting his crimes openly, vowing to destroy everyone who stands against him. He orders Lena's execution. But the man assigned to kill her turns out to be Jace, who has already escaped custody. He reveals that he recorded Song Bai's entire confession and is broadcasting it across the company, exposing everything. Panic spreads instantly. Desperate, Song Bai attempts to flee once again, triggering a final confrontation. In the middle of the chaos, Lena and Jace share a brief kiss, holding on to each other as everything collapses around them. The police storm in to arrest Song Bai. But Jace, driven by years of pain and revenge, takes a gun and shoots him, ending his life once and for all. Months later, peace begins to settle. The real Arya Ning becomes president of the company and rebuilds her bond with Lena. Lena rises as the new leader of the Qing Yun group, but makes a bold decision to end all criminal activities. Finally, Lena and Jace choose to stay together, closing their story with a fragile yet hopeful future. And that's where this intense journey comes to an end. If you enjoyed this story, comment part 2 or continue, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more insane stories like this.